Howdy everyone, Runt9 here, and welcome back to Runt9 Plays Monster Train. We had a pretty rough finish in the last one, and we're going to try to do a little bit better and bring it back to some clans that I know a little bit better as well. And so I'm thinking that I want to start filling out these wins for red and green. So how about we roll with a green-blue as our clan setup here. I don't necessarily like green as a primary, which is probably why I don't have a win with it yet. Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's that I like the other clans that much more. We are going to do Covenant rank 5 for sure, as I played quite a bit more last night and got more Covenant wins. So he's going to cleanse buff and debuff effects, which is pretty bad considering that with green, I usually do a combination of spikes and regen. So we'll kind of have to figure out how we work around that. Think that the sound is down as well. I don't remember exactly where it was set at, but I was listening to music last night while I was playing on the laptop, and so I have to get everything back to where it's supposed to be. Summon 4 random units from your deck on the middle floor is one of my favorite just like haha funny artifacts, and especially like I don't want to go all in on spikes if Seraph is going to be cleansing half of our spike stacks. And same thing, I'm like, go for the rejuvenate. We'll be able to make that work. So, rule number 1 in Monster Train, always take the first trial no matter what it is. You'll never take enough pyre damage to warrant not having the trial. Even 50 gold is worth it. And so here, it summons 4 train stewards, which is perfectly fine. You guys have a bunch of do a good chunk of damage, and we don't have an easy way to protect you. So realistically, what we do is we put you up here, and we give you spikes. And then, draw +1 next turn. Sure, we'll leave you down here. We shouldn't have done that way, because I was definitely going to kill you as well. We should have rooted a different one, but, you know, I realized that I don't have a lot of time before the stream today. Well, I mean, I have over an hour, but I know that Monster Train wins run about that long. So we're going to go the route of assuming that we need to not speed run, but kind of speed run a little bit. And so by killing them, we are able to get the collector, so we get the gold out of it. And like the first couple battles, I really don't have to think about things too hard. Just like play some cards and things will happen. So only 2 of them are making it up there. They are going to do a little bit of damage. They're going to take 10 damage. They're going to die to spikes though. Honestly, if we root the back unit here, then they don't move up and they get killed automatically. And then I think we go more spikes there and kill another unit up front. We actually could have killed one of those units. That may have been a better idea. So I definitely want to just avoid pyre damage if at all possible. We'll give you more spikes, and that should be fine there. I mean, I think it's entirely possible that he's going to make it to our pyre, but he's going to take some damage along the way. So we could heal. That would restore 2 HP, which doesn't get another attack in. So I think we just Titan's Gratitude and hope that that doesn't happen. So I guess we just do it that way. That works. So he's going to be down to 14, so we're going to take 5 pyre damage. Like I said, you will almost, like, rule number 1 is take the first trial no matter what. So regen at this point, no thank you. Vine Grasp is good, but I'm going to take non-buff stat increases. Frostbite is a debuff. Spell Weakness is a debuff. So I actually don't like those at all either. The thing is, purging half of your spell weakness debuffs is a lot rougher than purging half your frostbite. Because if we have 50 frostbite on a Seraph, and I actually faced a Seraph with this, we'll take it, and I'll explain more as we go through. Quick is good, Rage is a buff and debuff, or a buff, I'm not going to deal with that. We kind of already have a tank, and so Awoken Hollow can get pretty tanky. I think it'd be kind of nice to have Animus of Speed, and then try to get it some multi-strike. And some more HP for that matter. Rule number 2 of Monster Train. If you have only one of the two paths after your first battle has a unit. You take that one no matter what. You need units more so than anything else. So this is where I'm like, obviously I love sweep, and I do love spell weakness. It'll help out against literally everything except the final boss. And I think I'd still rather apply some spell weakness and let half the stacks get purged than deal with having half of rage get purged. But that's not going to be a unit to go in on. And then Endless on Animus of Speed is kind of interesting. But again, I'm just like, give it some HP, and then reroll isn't going to let us buy whatever this is. So add more attack to your sweep. That'll help take out some units on the bottom floor. I think we reroll. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't multi-strike, because then I would have been really sad. And so honestly, I'm like, with the Icy Silo fight, I'm kind of down with just giving it another attack bump and then sitting on the 40 gold. Again, I will hold out for a multi-strike on Animus of Speed, because multi-strike plus quick is so good. And then, just like the first trial, I take the second trial every single time as well, because I feel like the enemies don't scale as fast as you do after the first shop. And especially with this one, I'm like, oh, definitely, we're going to take some pyre damage, but it's not that big of a deal. So basically what I'm thinking is you put an Icy Silo fight here, and obviously you're going to take a bunch of damage. Or, oh, apparently our Animus of Speed got pulled out onto the middle floor and is up front. That kind of stinks. So now we got to consider, do we do some damage down here? Do we put... You don't have spikes. That's right. We were putting the spikes on you ourselves. So I think we definitely protect you, because we can heal our champion pretty easily. I say pretty easily. We don't have very many healing cards. I think I really don't want our Animus of Speed to take this much damage. And I would prefer to not have to deal with you. You're doing spikes too. So actually, you know what? You get rooted. Kill one and kill one. So now our pyre is going to take 6. We're only taking 10 on each floor. That seems okay. I'm good with that. And so this is why I want multi-strike on the Animus, like, if at all possible, because it can do a lot of good work with multi-strike and quick together. So now, you're going to hit for 4. You're dead from that. Let's see if we can make this a little bit easier, though. I mean, absolutely healing you is a good idea, and then the regen will trigger on the next battle. We could kill you directly. We could also kill this unit, which gets rid of a spiker. But I think what I want to do, and again, I'm like, we really don't need to think this hard about it early on. Kill you, hit you, you're dead via quick. We take no damage on either of our 2 major floors. This will be a brief respite. And then we do as much as we can here on this floor. I think the answer is +4 spikes 4 on you. And I would like to restore you as well, but I think we'll just hit you. And that drops some of the spike stacks, and that makes life a little bit easier. Now, what can we do down here? Well, so I think the easy play is you Steel Enhancer your quick unit, and then... I don't know that I really care to heal it for 2. The sweep is going to stink just a little bit, but... honestly, yeah. Go ahead and give you more attack and spikes. You're going to ice that unit immediately. You're taking 111. We will definitely put Frostbite on you. You're dead from spikes. How about more spikes? You're taking 152. Okay, and then you're dead on the next floor. So nice and easy. I mean, exactly what you want out of an early start. Only 5 pyre damage taking both trials. I mean, that's perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. So we get a little bit of bonus gold from that, and I mean, you got to take Restoration Detonation here. It works out so well with our champion. And then Offering Token is great for the discard synergy. I do love Titan's Tooth no matter what, especially if we're going to build up some Frostbite. And we do have 2 discard card at random, so we may be able to pull that one off, even if we aren't always able to cast it at 3 mana. So I think upgrading our spells and grabbing an Awoken unit is going to be a little better. I don't think we need another Animus of Speed, but I also don't think a Thorn Hollow is that amazing for us. But I mean, it does help out a lot all the way up until we get to the Seraph. And it is an easy tank to stick in front. And then we don't have anything to remove Consume on. Adding 20 magic power and Consume. That would be restore 30 health. It's tempting. And then just a flat -1. I think throwing a -1 on Titan's Tooth is a pretty easy choice. Makes it significantly more castable. And then at this point, I'm like, go ahead and reroll, see if we get something better here. Permafrost is probably something that we're going to want. Yeah, I'm going to say Permafrost on Restoration Detonation so we can use it at the right time. I'm going to be honest with you, just bring Titan's Tooth down to 1. I don't need it to be upgraded. Frostbite 10 is still plenty good. I mean, yes, a double stack would be nice, but 20 magic power and Consume, I'm like, honestly, just give us a good Frozen Lance. Apparently, I accidentally misclicked and we have a good heal. It's fine. I don't really care that much. Alright, so we get automatic rail spikes, add a permanent copy of this card to your discard pile, deal 5x damage, or I do like the spike driver colonies. The thing is, I have run into the problem where these do get out of control very quickly and completely clog up your deck. I'm like, automatic rail spikes works out pretty well, especially if we get bonus energy. And I don't want to go too terribly overboard on it, but we'll kind of see where we go. You know, sometimes it's like, we want this unit to not exist anymore. Explosives explode twice is difficult when you don't have much, if any, direct damage to deal with them. So let's see how it's stacked up this floor. We got Icy Silophyte in front, which is not what you want. You got Thorned Hollow way in the back, also not what you want. So I think what we want to do is set it up like this. And, I mean, I don't see much of a point of throwing a Train Steward on the bottom floor where it's just going to die. So just ice a couple of these guys and make life a little bit easier for our future floors. Go ahead and put another bomb up there. It doesn't matter. We have Quick. So then for down here, we definitely want the book that is Consume and add Quick, because Quick on Icy Silophyte would be a huge benefit. 15 damage, huh? I don't really see that as that beneficial, whereas that does seem beneficial. And, I say kill one of those units and then add more healing and regen stacks. We'll go ahead and get the spikes ticking. Because again, like, I'm okay having some spike synergies and some spell weakness and some frostbite. So as long as like buffs and debuffs aren't how our deck wins, because that's asking for trouble. Alright, so this is obviously a little bit rougher of a position to be in. I think we want to try to make you survive if at all possible. How about we hold you down on this floor? We kill you, and then like 25 damage to the front. You are dead, but so is our Icy Silophyte, unfortunately. And that's what I was talking about, is like with the double barrel explosives, it is a lot rougher to deal with if you don't have exactly what you need to take something out in the back. And now, like, I'm starting to realize that this sometimes isn't as good as I'm used to it being. But this is where I'm like, we can literally just wipe this floor for 1 mana and also apply 10 Frostbite to the boss. I would say that seems pretty good. We can heal you for 10, which will nuke you. And we don't get any more spikes down, but I think that's kind of okay. And then honestly, just keep Restore going, because that's going to keep the spikes ticking. And at this point, I think for this particular fight, we're going to need spikes as our quote-unquote win condition. So this would kill the bomb and add more frostbite to the boss. I think that's an easy yes. And then you're dead to quick, so we don't need to worry about you anymore. I think a steel enhancer on Animus of Speed is very tempting. But honestly, like, our Thorned Hollow is kind of the win condition for this battle right now. And so at that point, I think we probably just hit you for 25. And that way you will die to quick on the next floor. And then you would technically get to our pyre unless we do this. So how about you have spikes now, so you're both dead. I feel like just hitting you for 6 is an okay proposition. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. But thing is, keep in mind, the boss has Frostbite 17. He's taking 285 here. Let's make life a little bit easier. Honestly, I just want to draw the one next turn, even if it's not necessarily going to do anything for us. And then, how about more spikes and regen, and no real point in playing the Train Steward, since we can't. So we could deal 10 damage, but that would use up the rest of our mana. We could just do the 25, and then we've got a Train Steward that can't do anything. So you're not quite dead until you move up to the next floor, but you're definitely dead on the next floor. 100%. So pretty easy Daedalus fight. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's okay if you lose some units, so as long as you don't lose pyre health. And then we'll just make life easier, make you die a little quicker. Perfect. So past Daedalus, we're good. I don't think capacity is a problem right now. Plus 10 HP and spikes 4 is okay, but 90 damage to the front enemy unit, especially since... I already said it. I already said we need that. Absolutely. Do we need more units? Maybe, maybe not. I'm thinking Animus of Will is fine. The problem with Animus of Will is at this point, if it gets placed in the front on the middle floor, it's pretty much wasted. I'm thinking that +1 energy is going to be a lot better for us than the capacity right now, since we're getting the 4 free units on the middle floor right now anyways. So this is an artifact, a unit, and some removals versus gold and unit upgrades. I don't think the unit upgrades are that great, especially when we don't have that much gold, whereas artifacts are very strong in this game. First time each turn, I mean, neither of these is amazing, but potentially removing buffs can help out a lot against rage and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, I think Husk Hermit is fine because it has 30 HP, so its sweep is likely to happen. And so it gives us something else that either ends up on the middle floor, which is fine, or it ends up where we can put it on the bottom floor, which is, in my opinion, ideal. And then start removing Train Stewards so that our deck gets a little bit thinner. And then for a champion upgrade, I mean, I think we're just going to go for... Honestly, I love the Revenge Draw 1. Absolutely down with that. It may not make the Rejuvenate stronger, but I do love that. And I'm pretty sure that the Revenge doesn't increase. Restore all health when they move up a floor for an artifact. I think this is going to be fine. I mean, we are likely to take some pyre damage from this one, but as I talked about in the last episode, pyre health is just a resource, just like everything else. And they're going to have a hard time making it through the middle floor. Yep, he ended up in front. Or she, or it, or whatever. You hate to see that. And legitimately, I don't think there's any way to keep it alive unless we're able to buff Animus of Speed more. Which I know that we didn't go for the unit upgrades, and I was talking about how badly I wanted to be able to get multi-strike. I get it. So I think what we really want to do is try to set up the bottom floor in such a way that we can make the middle floor less likely to take damage. Like, being able to kill this guy seems definitely ideal. We don't have a way to heal our Thorned Hollow, but we can immediately apply Spikes 4 to whatever we put in front. I mean, honestly, at this point, we pretty much just have to accept that Animus of Will is going to die. And this gives us extra draw. So you go out in front, you go in the back, and then you get Thorns, and you go on the top floor. And that's just going to work. You're now dead from spikes and sweep, which is exactly what we want. And we get to draw an extra card due to revenge. You don't do any damage. You're going to die. Kill you and add some frostbite to you. And why don't we just add more frostbite to you and... Train Steward? No. How about we heal you and then hit you for 25? Works for me. Excellent. So we did get the gold out of that. We drew an extra card. All of this is good. And we've got 4 energy, so we can do a lot of good stuff. So now we have to make a decision. Quick on Animus of Will is great, but we don't have very many ways to buff it. We've got a single steel enhancer. I think that if we add quick onto our sweeper, then hit it for 25, that brings you down to 70. We should be able, should be able to kill you this turn. Let's root you. And then we can play all but 1 card. I think I'm okay not playing the heal. So hit you for 6, hit you for 6, hit you for 25. You are now still not quite dead from the quick units. So I guess is okay. You kind of have to, like I said, only 3 HP, and I said it when we got it that it ending up in front really kind of stinks. So I think Restoration Detonation is an easy choice here. Steel Enhancer on Icy Silophyte is probably the most tempting option, but hear me out. I think adding it onto our sweep unit is better. And being able to remove Consume from Wildwood Tome would be unfathomably good at this point, because there's multiple units that we want to apply quick to. I think Thorns would be good, but we could also go the route of you just get a big heal, and then 25 to you, you're dead. And I think that puts us in a better position for the middle floor. I also drew 3 cards. So now, you're not going to die on this floor at the moment. Let's see if we can solve that problem. So, adding some Frostbite does make life a little bit easier for us. So why don't we start there? You're at 64. Alright, yeah, you're dead. Let's go ahead and root you so that we draw an extra card next turn, and then... As much as I want to do the spikes, I think we just hit you, and then we just hit you, and now you're dead this turn. Easy enough. Now for the boss. You don't have anything fancy. You're only taking 104 damage. How about we clear out the units behind you and get some Frostbite? Yo, we have unlocked the final clan. Let's go. Dude, that's exciting. That makes me super happy. So, like, obviously, healing you back up would be nice, but you know what? Healing you up to 43, it does get another set of attacks out there. And then, I mean, honestly, like, spikes on you seems pretty good. Because at 28, you're going to be able to withstand 4 attacks. He's taking some frostbite damage, which is good. We're drawing a ton of cards from Revenge. So we're going to have a stacked hand, our pick of exactly what we need next time. Our hand is full. You're taking 234. Let's see if we can make that better. You're sitting at... Yeah, so we would be able to do 10 when you... Or 50 when you get up there. So we're going to hold that in hand and not play it. At this point, I'm like... Steel and hand... Everything comes down to the Thorn Hollow at this point. I think more Frostbite is good, because that's 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 and so on and so forth. Root doesn't do anything, but we draw an extra card next turn. I don't think we want to play the Titan's Gratitude, because we discard the Restoration Detonation. That's actually really bad. So I'm going to say just add more spikes and more attack up there, and then start with Restoration Detonation next time. That should finish getting the kill on this dude. And if not, I mean, he can go to the pyre, but I'm pretty sure that he's dead on this floor. Now he's dead on this floor. Yes. Why did that do 200? Did he have spell weakness? I think he had spell weakness. New clan unlocked. Recruit the melting remnants of wax and arches. Melting souls and greedy thugs band together to Yep. Sounds like fun. We will probably have to try that out on the next episode. Apply rooted to enemy units when they enter the floor below the pyre room. That is incredibly powerful. I'm going to say that 3 sting spells is great. If we get any sting artifacts, now we have a reason to take it. And then Ice Storm is one of my favorite ones to just grab some magic power on. But also Dazed 1 to enemy units. That, along with Rooted on the floor below the pyre room, can pretty much give us a free turn of just clearing out a floor of enemies. This seems like an early trinket merchant. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like, with 75 coins, we would get to 295, so we'd still only be able to buy 1. But we could also re-roll if none of them jump out at us. And I say we go to the caverns first, because we may get something here that makes this a little different. Melting Remnant consumable card, why not? Reform 2 random units. Return a defeated friendly unit to your hand. Enhance with Burnout 1, +5, +5, and 0. Counts down every turn. When Burnout runs out, the unit dies. Okay, so it's kind of like, I forget what it's called, but in Magic you have these, return it from the graveyard, play it, and then it dies at the end of turn. I mean, it's neat. I'm absolutely down with that. If we lose some units, we get 1 more turn. So it's not like an amazing spell, but it's something kind of neat. And then let's see what we get here. 50% chance to swap front and back is a pretty nice one. Spell weakness 2 to enemy units when they enter the floor below the pyre room. At this point, you're basically letting me set up for a ridiculous floor just below the pyre room. And so purging stuff, I think that getting rid of another train steward is in our best interest. Let's move on to the next fight. So I don't think our deck got significantly better there. Spikes isn't going to be that big of a problem. I mean, obviously we have a multi-striker who only has 3 HP, so we might as well just concede to the fact that they're dead. Probably was not the best unit to add to our deck, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it requires upgrades to actually be good. Now, granted, we do have a 50% chance to remove buffs, and it actually just triggered on that one. So, at this point, I'm still like, put the Sentient and the Husk Hermit on the bottom floor. Sweep takes care of you. You're taking damage from spikes, which obviously is unfortunate. You also have Sweep. So when you get up here, you're killing Animus of Will anyways. Not that it would matter because she would die from spikes. And I think that we want to enhance our Sweeper. And then probably hit you for 25, or do we want to add another automatic rail spikes? Sure, let's go that route. We'll grab another automatic rail spikes in our deck. We got to be careful about when we use that. But I think there are going to be certain circumstances where I'm like, you know what? I'm perfectly fine gaining another one. So Animus of Speed goes on the top floor. That's an easy one. From a quick perspective, I'm thinking that Icy Silophyte is probably the target here. Although Husk Hermit is very tempting as well. I just don't know that Husk Hermit is going to matter for the boss fight. So go ahead and add quick to Icy Silophyte. Flash Freeze would kill the healer. Never mind, the healer's dead from Sweep, so it doesn't really matter. You're only taking 6 damage, unfortunately. So why don't we Frostbite you and also Restoration Detonation? And so now you're dead on this floor, and then we definitely don't want Sacred Wicks right now. So we've got Titan's Tooth, which could help out a little bit on this floor. Ideally, we would heal you back up. Icy Silophyte being in a rough spot kind of stinks. I think we just Titan's Tooth down here. Probably root you so you stick around a little bit longer. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think spikes on our front unit here is a good idea, and then healing you up to get more spikes and surviving a little longer is also a good idea. So this is already starting to look a little bit spicy, and the biggest problem I see right now is we don't actually have nearly as much damage in our deck as I thought we did. So you're rooted, so you're going to get wailed on twice. I mean, down here, it would be nice to be able to sweep these guys with a single spell so that there's not as much damage going out there. The spikes is rough. Spikes is real rough. I mean, I think let's start here. We probably need to hit you with one. Because then you're going to die. Actually, you were going to die next turn anyways. You're dead. And then we just want to hit the front unit a little bit more down here. You definitely get healed. And honestly, I'm like, we probably want to make sure that we play Frenzied Swarm, which makes me not want to play Titan's Gratitude. How about we hit you for 6, we restore you, and then we daze these fools, so we take much less damage. We're still taking a lot of spikes damage, unfortunately. We definitely have a chance to grab a second unit to put on the top floor behind our in front of our Animus of Speed. It'd be kind of nice to have something a little tanky to throw back there. I think you Titan's Tooth. We probably want to Steel Enhancer Icy Silophyte here. I mean, obviously, definitely Sting. With 3 mana left, I mean, I feel like Restoration Detonation is good, but I'd prefer to save it for next turn, when the boss is actually going to be on this floor. Yeah, go Steel Enhancer there. And then +4 attack and spikes. I'm like, stack those spikes up on our Hollow. That's going to be the best way for us to do a bunch of damage before he gets to the second from last floor. Stealth -8 getting removed on this boss is incredible. I want to be clear, if you guys don't already know this, that I think that Stealth 8 on the Crystal Cloak is the single most broken thing in this game by a landslide. So, if we were to play our Sacred Wicks, they would get returned to our hand, and we wouldn't be able to play them. They would get Burnout 1, so they would die at the end of turn. And their size doesn't go down. I don't think that's actually any good for us right now. Restoration Detonation, we actually want to use here. And then, I think we hit you. I think we add more spikes up here. And then I think we hit you. And that works for me. I'm good with that. We're going to draw a good number of cards here. Yeah, them not having stealth helped out so much here. If you're taking 160, we can definitely make that better. How about another Restoration Detonation? And then how about some Frostbite? We'll sting you, and we'll sting you, and we'll draw an extra card next turn. And then, I mean, we could daze you. That would give us another free turn of smacking on you. That would basically be another 28 damage. I don't know that that's that much, though. How about we restore you and then daze you? Now you're taking 295, you're definitely dead on the next floor. Okay, so we managed to make it out of this one. No more pyre damage, exactly what you want to see. But I am definitely realizing that we don't have a lot of good scaling damage right now. It's a little bit rougher than I would like it to be. Spell weakness is nice, though. We should consider having Icy Silophyte on the bottom floor. Playing a spell deals 2 damage to a random enemy unit on that floor. Actually really good. Damage equal to 10 times the amount of spikes. Very, very tempting, especially with spell weakness. But again, like, having Bramble Lash be something important to us when we are against Seraph the Chaste, whereas this just seems better. I think we have to take Bramble Lash. Just because we do have a lot of spike synergies, I think it's okay. But just keep in mind, we can't let that be our win condition. Mollusk Mage gives us some opportunities to get bigger heals and bigger damaging spells out there, especially if it ends up on the middle floor and the back. But obviously it would really stink if that ends up being in the middle floor and the front. I mean, I don't really care for either side that much, but I think we're going to go this route. Let's go ahead and remove our Train Steward. And I'm kind of tempted to remove the Titan's Gratitude. Like, I like the 25 damage, don't get me wrong, but really don't want to discard random cards. I almost never play them. We'll do the Crystal Caverns next, and then we'll do the spell. So not being able to heal our units does not work. When your Pyre kills a unit, restore 5 Pyre health is tempting, but I think plus 25 HP on Animus of Will makes it not immediately useless, and so it can actually survive for a couple of rounds. We would like for it to have more attack as well, and obviously like quick would be the ideal scenario, but alright, holdover on multiple things would be a good idea. But I'm like, especially with a -1. Holdover plus -1 on Bramble Lash makes it very, very playable. But just keep in mind that, like, we're probably not beating the Seraph if that's our win condition. Having a free Steel Enhancer every turn, I think may legitimately be better. Because Bramble Lash gets hard countered by the boss, +3/+3 doesn't. And being able to do that, every turn, and immediately make it free. So every single turn, we're adding +3/+3 to something on the field. And then 20 magic power and consume. I meant to do this on a Frozen Lance last time. I definitely still think that's a good play. And then we could have re-rolled and tried to fish for something better, but I'm okay with that. So at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see us making it past Fel. Especially not with her being the more attack form, where she's going to give Alabaster Guardians gaining multi-strike, and then she's going to do Rage. I think that's legitimately problematic for us. So we did start with our Mollusk Mage in the back, which is actually exactly what we want. So any chance we can put Frostbite on Fel, that's 100% what we're going to do. Since Icy Silophyte is up here, I think what we're going to do is exactly the same setup we've been rolling before. And then probably just root you for now. You're dead. Unfortunately, you're taking 12, though. I'm thinking the best way to do this is honestly to just daze you. So we take no damage, you get killed and out of the way of our Beat Grinder floor, and go from there. Spell weakness on the boss is also good stuff. And then I'm thinking at this point that I'm probably going to go for the +1 capacity. I think that's going to be the best route to go. Because then, like, being able to put Animus of Will behind these two units seems quite nice to me. So realistically, I want to do Sharpen plus Bramble Lash. But I don't think that really does that much for us. Playing Animus of Will up here without any way to protect it kind of feels bad as well. Here's what I think we do. We see if there's anything down here that's easy to get out of the way. You're gonna take 12 damage, but I'm okay with that at this point. And honestly, Frostbite 8 on the boss. Did it consume the spell weakness? Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I don't care. And then go ahead and heal our spiky dude. And then heal our spiky dude again. I think we're going to need the spikes to deal with Fel since she has multi-strike. That's going to be one of our best ways to deal with the fact that we don't have a ton of damage output, is just rely on the fact that Fel is going to do a lot of damage to herself on the spikes. So at this point, this is where I'm like, having quick on our sweep unit on the bottom floor feels like a strong move. And then start steel enhancing things, which I think you start there. You died, which is great. You'll love to see that. And then sting spells are going to have... Yeah, they're going to have +7 magic power here. You're getting armor, but that's perfectly okay, honestly. So that way you die. You're probably going to make it to our pyre, but you only do 4 damage. Not the worst thing in the world. Can you stop? I need you to not exist anymore. You're taking a good chunk of damage, and that's kind of unfortunate. More spikes, and honestly, maybe even heal you a little bit. I think that's actually going to be an okay thing. We do need to be healing our champion more, since it does do damage to the front unit when we do that, which is kind of a good thing, you know? Killing units is probably a good way to go, if we can pull that off. So now, this is where I think is a very obvious restoration detonation setup. We've got a free steel enhancer. At this point, I'm thinking... My man's has sweep, so rip Mollusk Mage. Unless we can ice him before he can actually do anything. We can get him down below 25, then he'll die to quick. Make it 28, just to make life a little easier. Actually, we could probably daze him. That's a good thought. We could probably just daze him. And I do see that our Animus of Will is probably going to die at this point. You're rooted. Not that it matters. Let's root you. Let's add Frostbite to the boss. I'm only going to play one of these. 33 damage to the front enemy unit. And now you're going to get killed without Icy Silophyte dying, meaning the boss is going to take 53 here. And then we probably just daze the bottom floor or daze this floor. Honestly think we daze this floor. That keeps our Animus alive and stops you from doing anything this turn. I mean, you're rooted and dazed. Alright, so we've got the sweeper back again. You guys having rage. I mean, at this point, there's nothing we can do about that. We'll hopefully be able to bring the Animus back with our interesting consume card. You are not quite dead to quick. So how about we make you dead to quick? And I think you really want to just dump some heals onto our champion. Man, this is a little bit rough. I think this floor is kind of a lost cause. We got the 45 damage out of that, which is great, but you're dead is the problem. We don't have a way to save you. So if that's going to be the case, then just keep thorn stacking here. If we don't get rid of this Alabaster Guardian, then I don't think it matters, actually. You're going to our pyre, though, and you're going to do a big chunk of damage. I think we're just going to have to be okay with that and just try to sting down here. Really the best thing we can do. Yeah, like I said, I feel like we're not getting past this Fel fight. I'm pretty sure this is where we die. Especially with as much damage as we took there. Again, we definitely don't want the sweeper to make it through being able to kill our Mollusk Mage. At this point, we should just relinquish to or accept the fact that we're dead down there. Now, if we gave the Mollusk Mage +3, we wouldn't necessarily have to worry about it, but I think that we have better options. Frostbite the boss. Let's see here. We have a couple different options here. Stinging you definitely helps. That kills you. Now, Bramble Lash would do 120 plus 7 damage. But now you're dead. And so we don't have to worry about sweep. That'll do the trick. So Bramble Lash is obviously, like, pretty good on this middle floor. What are we looking at from a pyre damage perspective if you make it up there? Just 5? Not going to worry about it. Let's keep you down here for a minute. Let's, tempted to make you better, but at this point I'm like... Actually, let's keep the Hollow even more alive. The longer that Fel is beating herself silly against the spikes, the better. And at this point, if we can play our hand, play our hand. Now, you're dead to quick. You're taking 65 damage. Seems pretty ideal to me. Alright, so you're going to take, like, very little damage here. That's just something that you know is going to happen. You're basically just taking frostbite damage. So, Restoration Detonation with spell weakness. We don't have any other way to add spell weakness, so like at this point, we should just go ahead and take the shot. But we could do it on Icy Silophyte next turn, and I think that's going to be a better play. It's also only going to do it to this guy as well. So definitely keep boosting that dude up. We don't want to apply the Frostbite this turn. I think we just sting you. Add more spikes on our Thorny Hollow. I mean, the thing is, without playing this, though, you're not going to be dead with us able to Restoration Detonation on the next floor. We could Sacred Wicks. Well, we go that route. Animus of Will and Sentient. So the Burnout 1 means that they're going to die this turn. But if we do this, you're still only taking 30. And this doesn't really do us any good. Okay, good talk. Honestly, at this point, with this having permafrost, go ahead and make sure you don't exist anymore. And then I think we hold on to our Restoration Detonation, do it on Icy Silophyte next turn. Okay, so where are we at? You're taking 565. That certainly seems pretty solid. Keep the Steel Enhancer going here. Do whatever we can to try to kill you. 20 plus 7. That wouldn't leave us room to use a Restoration Detonation. Unfortunately. $17 health would do, so it would be 13 times 5 times 2. I don't think we can get there. Actually, you know what? We can. But we have to rely on it not discarding the card that we need it to not discard. Oh, baby. I was ready to roll the dice on that one. And then how about we daze you? Oh my god, we're going to make it through the Fel fight. Holy crud, dude. I can't believe it. And then with 3 spell weakness, what's our highest damage spells? So that's going to do 20. You're going to take Frostbite. Actually, that just, you're dead. Welcome to your death. I can't believe we made it through the Fell fight. That seems crazy to me. I think we go Pyre Bound, or the Ice and Pyre here. And then definitely the Capacity. Alright, had to do a brief cut there, but things should be good to go. So we are just past Fell. Picking this up just a couple hours later. So, an artifact upgrading our units. How upgraded were our units? That's right, we were looking to try to get some multi-strike onto Animus of Speed, maybe get some more damage on Animus of Will. So definitely like unit upgrades and an artifact. Plus being able to remove some more garbage seems good. Applying Frozen to a random card seems pretty interesting, but I think honestly just drawing more cards could be pretty beneficial for us. And then from a removal standpoint, we don't want to remove all of our healing. At this point, I'm like, get rid of Sharpen. It's kind of clogging things up, and we're getting close to the final boss. Get rid of a Frozen Lance as well. Make our deck a little bit thinner. And Merchant of Steel, Endless. Endless is not what we wanted. And I know this is kind of spicy, but like, I'm going to reroll and hope for multi-strike. Okay. Honestly, in that case, we'll take Quick on Animus of Will. I realize Quick on Sweep is good as well, but that's going to have to be good enough. I don't feel like we got significantly better, that's for sure. And then from a champion standpoint, we could either just tack on more HP or make Rejuvenate do 30. I think making Rejuvenate do 30 is significantly better. Oof. Do we have enough damage in our deck to deal with you healing to full? I mean, the thing is, like, if we don't kill you on the middle room, you're probably going to make it the rest of the way anyways. So I'm going to take it. I think that could be a run-ender, but we need to just assume that middle floor is our death trap. We actually did get the Thorned Hollow out in front, which is fantastic. We've got 2 sweep units, which is not ideal. And the reason why is we wanted a sweep unit down here to take out things like this guy. So what we're going to have to hope for... I'm honestly kind of like... if they're going to send big armored units and stuff in front, then we need our sweepers to deal with them before they get up here. I'm going to say this is actually where we load up. And then heal you, start getting some spikes going. Quick on the sweeper that does more damage. And then might as well throw some sting spells out here. We're going to draw some extra cards next turn. And then dazing you doesn't do any good, so we might as well deal 6 to the front unit. That actually killed you with the 2 damage to a random enemy. That worked out a lot more perfectly than I would have expected. You're dead, that's easy enough. Now what do we got to deal with here? Oh, that's right, we have the Animus of Speed that can go on the top shelf as well. And then is that our last unit? If I can check the drop pile. A lot easier. Yes, that is our last unit. So this makes things a lot simpler. You go... Honestly, I don't know that I'm going to be able to buff the Animus of Will enough, so I think you going behind is ideal. And then didn't we have Steel Enhancer? I swear I saw Steel Enhancer in hand, but we don't. So healing when you move up a floor means at the very least we need to kill you. We're not doing 160 on either floor. That would do a very large amount of damage. It's probably going to be our best option. Let's start there. And then we definitely can kill you. There's going to be multiple ways for you to die, not the least of which being that you're going to die to quick and sweep. So if that's the case, then we don't necessarily have to worry about the multi-strike. So I'm like, go ahead and do that. That gets some frostbite on you. You know what? Ice and Pyre having permafrost would be like one of the most ideal situations I could possibly fathom. But at this point, I'm like, we probably should just add some frostbite. Because at the very least, with frostbite stacking, then it'll hurt our Pyre ever so slightly less. Because you're obviously not going to die on that floor. Let's take a look at what we're looking at. You two die to sweep. And that means, are you actually going to take 13? Because you're sweep quick. No, you're not. That can't possibly be right. Because you're gonna lose multi-strike, so you're only gonna do 8 damage. Oh, yeah, you do 5. Okay, that's why. Extinguish. Okay, so that's fine. You're rooted, and you only heal when you move up a floor. So that actually works a lot more in our favor than I initially realized. We definitely want to heal you up to full. And we probably want to hit you for 26. We can definitely play our hand, so go ahead and sharpen and add more spikes. And I think our best case scenario is actually rooting you here. That gives us Steel Enhancer, which I think we absolutely want to enhance Animus of Will with more attack power. Because if units are going to be rooted on this floor, that's our best chance to kill them before they finish moving up. So hit you with a heal so you take 30 damage. And that definitely would have done better than Frozen Lance. And we obviously don't want to play Sacred Wicks yet. So these two are dead. You're taking 12, which kind of stinks, but we have ways to heal you. As long as they don't have any sweep units, we should be okay. You're taking a bunch of damage because of the 5 damage extinguishes. You're dead via quick, which is exactly what you want to see. And I think we keep Steel Enhancing our Animus of Will. Just every single turn. So that's going to do 140 damage, so that would immediately ice you. I think that's a pretty solid play, honestly. And then when we play Sting, we're going to draw some more cards. So start with that. Do it again, because then we can do some damage to the front enemy unit. And I think probably just continuing to heal you so you get more spikes. Probably go for Frostbite over anything else, though. And that's going to have to be good enough. I'm really spooked about losing our Hollow here. Obviously, you healed, but you got some Frostbite stacked on you. Probably going to want Titan's Tooth here. Again, I think you keep Steel Enhancing the Animus of Will. That takes care of you. Now you've got some Frostbite. Go for the spikes and the heal and the sting. Actually, never mind. We should have done the sting up there. That was smart. So our champion taking 8 damage is certainly not a huge concern at all. You getting spell weakness helps. And so at this point, again, keep stacking that up on you. We can ice you, pun intended, with just that. Which means now, with 3 spell weakness, Restoration Detonation is just an immediate yeet. But I actually think we want to hold onto that for the boss and wait for the boss to get to the top floor before we use that. We're going to root you. That dealt 2 damage to you, which is hilarious and good. Sting you, so we draw an extra card next turn. And then I feel like Frozen Lance is probably the best option here. Because I honestly don't want another automatic Rail Spike. I think we just do that. And dealing 6 damage to the boss down here doesn't seem like it's going to be any good at all. So just do that. And again, I don't think we play Restoration Detonation here. At this point, go ahead and just do another 5 damage, and then you're dead next turn, which is fine. And you'll be dead too quick as well, which is definitely ideal. So I don't think we Restoration Detonation on Thorned Hollow. I think we save it for up here after he's got some stacks of spell weakness on him, and just try to go for the biggest damage hit we possibly can on that. I think we keep Steel Enhancing the Animus here, and now I wish that Animus was in the back. It might be ideal to daze you for a turn. So you're doing 7 damage per hit, which is not much. That really makes me think that putting spikes on our champion would have been the better route to go. So we might as well hit you with this. You gain +1 when damaged. Okay. I see how this works. I still think Frostbite stacking is the right answer. I realize that this is making you more powerful, but that seems okay. More Frostbite stacking still seems worth it. Now you're taking 336. And then we definitely do not want to discard a card at random, and we don't want to discard our hand. Because if this discards Restoration Detonation, or this that does discard our whole hand, I think that is just absolutely the worst thing possible. We should have used Sharpen up here, to be honest with you. So 336, I don't think that's going to be enough. We might die here. This might legitimately be the end of the run. Because he definitely stacks up a lot of attack, and spell weakness is good. So we're looking at 50 times spell weakness. So you're at 304. Actually, you know what? That may be enough. 9 times 50 is a lot of damage. You're almost dead. Can we get there? I mean, even if we don't, like, he's dead to Pyre. You're at 331. There's no spikes, so that doesn't help. Sacred Wicks doesn't help because we don't have the capacity. Rooted doesn't matter, but that would draw an extra card. That's 15 damage. That gets us closer. But actually, I think you do more Frostbite. 363, we're there. You're dead. Okay, well, that was a lot spicier than I thought it would be, but we got there. He's dead on that floor, even with his insane revenge damage stacking. All right. Okay, so we are going to get a shot at the Seraph, but considering how spicy that was, I don't trust it. Descend a unit and restore 10 health. Yes. Now we put units on the top floor, we descend them to the back of the middle floor. Absolutely. Now, basically the Seraphite, it comes down to the randomness of Sketches of Salvation, but now we have a chance to move things down to the bottom floor if we have to. I'm going to be honest with you, sap 3 to enemy units is -6 to the multi-strike Seraph boss. It's almost a dead draw, but I'm gonna take it. I think it might be good for us. So we have the cash for the Trinket Merchant, and at this point, I think we need the bonus gold so that we potentially get more good stuff here. Units gain an extra upgrade slot when we're about to go to a unit upgrader. Let's think about this for a second. Let's see what the upgrades are. No, and do we want to spend a reroll here? I mean, so what would large stone hit? Okay, the thing is, large stone on Animus of Will, though. Especially since we could just put it on the top floor and then descend it to the back of the middle floor. Now, granted, that's assuming that it doesn't get pulled from our deck. Honestly, like, that's incredibly compelling. %50 chance to apply spell weakness is fine, but I don't think that's not going to move the needle. This one might. And we want to try to save. We're not going to be able to save enough, I don't think. But like, start there. 18 times 3, 68 HP. That definitely helps. Rerolling here, I don't think helps us. Whereas rerolling here, 7 on the first turn of battle. Whenever a card with Consume is played, deal 30 to the front enemy unit. Pyre gets plus 15. None of those really move the needle either. We don't have a lot of Consumes in the deck. And even then, I'm like, really, 30 damage to the front unit on Consume is not very good. 7 on the first turn is interesting, but going back here, I'm like, there's some stuff that we can be doing here. Starting you with some spikes is interesting, and at this point we can definitely afford to spend all of our cash. More damage on a sweeper, reroll, multi-strike. Oh. Multi-strike. Absolutely. It doubles the amount of spell weakness you apply to the final boss. More spike stacking. I mean, we're gonna lose half the stacks. So the more stacks we have, the less impactful losing half our stacks is. And then 10 more attack on maybe our quick unit or a sweeper. Probably on our sweeper. And then remove cards. I think the heal spells are actually useful for us at this point. 25 damage, discard a card at random. At this point, we don't use that anymore. Sacred Wicks we might actually use. Because we're probably going to keep a pretty empty top floor. Drawing this more often would have been great. At this point, I'm like, I kind of wish I had never taken these in the first place. Like, 5x damage is kind of okay, but we're going to have to see. So we ended up with more spike stacking than I wanted, but Seraph is also going to purge spell weakness stacks. And because that was a thing that was going to happen anyway. So how did we end up here? Actually, like, completely fine. And then we want Icy Silophyte on the top floor, and we want to push you down into the back. So, like, this may not be the 100% ideal layout, but it's pretty close. Thorned Hollow in front, Animus of Will, Animus of Speed, and Husk Hermit. I mean, I would push Husk Hermit further up, but honestly, like, that's pretty solid. So I think you start here. And then if we kill you, we could hit you for 40 with Bramble Lash. And we also drew some cards, which doesn't really matter. We don't have a way to heal you to get more spikes for Bramble Lash, so just hit you for 40. And then, yeah, that seems good. And then you're going to get hit by all these guys for 107. Any early damage, like, if the Seraph comes down to the middle floor, then it's in for a world of hurt. Do we have quick sweep? We do not. We need to give you quick. Well, right? Yep, we need to give you quick. Okay, now all of a sudden you're not dying. We could hit you for 30 with this, but I'm like, this seems better to me. And now you're dying to Animus of Will plus Animus of Speed plus. So 3 quick units almost means that nothing will ever get to attack us. And I think every single steel enhancer still goes on the Animus of Will. And then I think you spike stack our hollow as much as humanly possible. So you guys are all dead to quick. Okay. Honestly, like, I was very spooked initially. We might be okay here. The longer we can stack spike, the better, because... Spike stack, the better, because that means when you remove half, the less it hurts. Alright, so we got a descend. So this is where you now descend. And then we aren't going to be able to give you quick, but I think that's going to be okay. You sweep, which is bad. So how about you die instead? Restore you. Draw some cards. How about we do that? You've got a little bit of frostbite ticking. It did claim the spell weakness, but that's fine. I mean, the Seraph is going to be constantly purging half of its spell weakness stacks anyway, so I don't see it mattering that much. You got to go. And then let's make life easier by starting to sting down here. Now, unfortunately, our Mollusk Mage isn't down here. Keep in mind, we do also have a 7-unit limit. We do need to keep in mind that we can't completely go overboard on it. Let's figure out what our options are here. I mean, we kind of just solved part of the problem. Is you put a Mollusk Mage and then you descend it. And now, is our champion the only unit left, or do we have any more units? Our champion is the only other unit. So the next time we can descend, we descend our champion and literally just like, okay, congratulations, you have to get through our entire deck on a single floor. I don't know if that's good or not, but we're going to find out if it's good. Okay? We want to definitely heal up our Thorned Hollow some more. I think let's root you in case you don't die. I say we go ahead and do the big heal here. That'll heal you up to full and get some more spikes. You Ember draining is awful. So definitely, like, we're going to hope that you die on the next floor. So go ahead and sting for 12. And that's basically all we can do. Our Hollow is going to take a little bit of damage, but we do have multiple ways of healing it. So you not having a chance to attack is like a must here. So start here. We need you to die easily. The problem is, like, Bramble Lash would be the best way to take care of you. Actually, hold on. Animus of Will is at 30 times 3, so you're at 90, plus another 48. So if we kill the front unit, you're dead. Cool. Now you don't get to sweep, and we don't get Ember drained. You surviving does kind of stink, though. You would only get healed for 7. I mean, sting. Oh, you know what? That helps. I think we still do that. Oh, we don't quite kill you, but that's okay. You'll die to frostbite on the next floor. That works. Okay, I'm good with that. Our Thorned Hollow did take a little bit of damage, but we healed it up to full before it took damage, so we're okay. Ember Drainer's on the bottom floor. We would prefer you not take 18 damage. I feel like we should keep our champion up here and give it spikes. I mean, also giving it a way to attack is probably a good idea as well, but... which that does both. So now you're both dead. That's actually exactly what we want. You're going to take some damage, but that just means that we can heal you back later and do some cool stuff. So Steel Enhancer, again, I think you just pump up this Animus as much as humanly possible. Although the one that's going to get the most attacks in is going to be this guy. No, I mean the quick, though. I think it's so important for making sure these units get cleared out. And then Sting. And then Sting. I mean, we might as well play Pirebound. Why not? And then 33 to the front enemy unit. We could also daze you as well. Never mind. No, we can't. We're going to take 8 damage. You're going to move up the floor. That's kind of okay. And the Ember Drain unit's going to be in front, so it's going to be pretty easy to deal with. Alright, so what are we dealing with here? Restoration Detonation on you puts in some really good work against this guy. Especially with the spell. I mean, that just immediately yeets you. And that way you die from spikes. You're dead to quick. You're going to do 8 damage. You're dead to quick. Pump you up. We are here to pump you up. Might as well root you. And then Sting. Bramble Lash would almost ice you. We definitely need to restore. Because more spikes and actually, like, make sure you don't die. And again, I'm like, putting Frostbite on the boss when every turn it's purging half of the stacks, like, doesn't seem that great. I think you just Bramble Lash. Still gonna take 7 damage from you, or 8 damage and then regen 1. We have another 4 attack, 4 spikes on our champion. Okay, so we're here. Time to find out who's been good or bad, so be good for goodness sake. I think it's time to do this. I legitimately think it was time. I think you do this. We have to use Restoration Detonation next turn. And so if that's the case, then heal. You'll die to Pyre. Actually, it won't matter. Like, either the boss dies on this floor or we lose. It all comes down to this. I don't know what the math looks like. It'll tell us the math here in a second, and we're gonna have to hope and pray. 1200. All right, let's see what we can do about that. 1248. We don't have a way to discard that. Bramble Lash ices you. And then Restoration Detonation hits you. I like the Sap 3. But it limits our playability options, whereas this just gets you out of the way. So then we can do that. And then we can sting you. And obviously, like, that doesn't matter. You're taking 1625. I think we lost here. Well, the thing is, The Seraph is going to end up with a metric ton of spell weakness on it, though. And so we have to hope that we draw something that next turn we can play a spell and ice you with the obscene amount of spell weakness. I mean, granted, we're doing a lot of damage. I don't remember how much. I think it's going to be around 500, 400. It's still going down. 12 spell weakness. 14. 14 spell weakness. Okay. So it all comes down to this, huh? And reform 2 units is actually exactly what we wanted. Sting spells are only going to do 5 apiece. But I do think we need to get you out of the way. Problem is, we didn't draw any of our big spells. We do draw more cards when we play our 3rd card in the turn. We don't want to play this yet, because then our hand would be too full. We wouldn't draw them all. Draw 2. Okay. So I think you start here. No, that's not quite going to kill you if we play all of them. And the problem is, I think you still got to do this. Okay. Now what? I think there's a win in here somewhere, is the thing. You're dead to Frostbite. That much is sure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. Playing that would put us at 7. I don't know what the hand size limit is. I think that this will be okay. What did we draw? We drew Animus of Will. It's going to get 1 round of attacks off, and we get the Mollusk Mage. Oh my goodness. Can we get there? +3, +3. If we kill you somehow, which spikes would do it, but I mean, it doesn't do it though. I think we want to end with Daze. This is a puzzle. This is a puzzle. Sap 3. The thing is, you both die at the end of turn, so it doesn't matter how much damage you're doing. Sap 3 is pointless. We need something to kill you, and we are 1 short. Had we done this sooner, we would have had the magic power. $186. I still think that means our Pyre is dead. And if we I think we don't want to daze you because, again, it dies at the end of the turn. Dazing you means that you're not getting hit by spikes. I think we lost, but man, was that close. Hit 1, 2, 3. Hit 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby! Oh my God! Are you kidding me? It could not be any closer than that. Literally could not be closer. Oh, wow. Alright, so Covenant rank 6. Add a copy of the primary clan starter card to your starting deck. Okay. Awoken level up. We got... I love the Shattered Shell. Higher Grow. Enhance the drawn... That one's good. Stygian Guard, Ice Tornado, 20 damage to a random enemy unit 3 times. That's a good one. Apply Frostbite 3 to enemy units on Revenge. Oh, I love that. That's a great Frostbite synergy. Win streak increased to 3. Oh, baby. Oh, man. That feeling when... Plan list card collect? Okay. That feeling when you actually are able to just barely eke out a win. This game really has that in spades. What a good game. That's going to do it. Absolutely amazing, down to the wire kind of game. This is going to be an hour and 25 minutes long after I finish cutting it. Who cares? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. You've enjoyed the episode. The single greatest thing that you can do to support the channel is clicking the like button. That sends a message to YouTube that says, hey, other people might like this video as well. Helps it get slurped up into the algorithm and fed to more people. In addition, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with the series and see some awesome content like this in the future. Check out twitch.tv/Runt9Plays, streaming 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And check out discord.runt9plays.com to join the community Discord. But until the next episode, I'm Runt9, and I'll see you later.